ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? I'm Izza33, and welcome to another episode of TFT Time. Today we're going to be jumping into probably one of the last, and I mean the last, TFT Times on set 2. And this is a big one because obviously we're going to be playing normal because it's so much easier, and I feel like this game we can just discuss the highs and lows of set 2 and what was so great about it and what really made the mode pretty bad as a whole. So yeah, let's get into things. Let's start with some positives. Firstly, set 2 brought TFT to a bigger stage, I feel, because set 1 was very basic. Set 2 was them going in and trying to make it a bit more skill based than RNG, whereas now it's still the same RNG but obviously you've got a bit of skill, obviously, with positioning due to hexes now, because people used to just be able to play a set style, position everything in the same spot, the same place every game, and win or do really good. Whereas in this set, because you've got that one powered up square, formations change up slightly. So yeah, you're gonna be obviously doing that, and you also have to adapt to the field because, well, let's just say it's how you play. So for this game, I think I might go for my most well-known strat. Everyone knows that I play it. If you watch my videos, you know it's my strat. It's obviously selective hearing. Don't know why I called it selective hearing. It was just one random episode title, because as you know, I like a little pun in my YouTube video title, and it was just like, okay, so we're playing with Soulbound. What words are in there that I can pun out? And the first big word is soul, so why not pun with the word? So yeah, I went with selective hearing as my title, and yeah, that is kind of the backstory behind why I'm calling it the selective hearing comp. You can deal with it if you think you've got it better. Now, I haven't played it in a while, so it's going to be interesting to see how well I remember it. But I know Senna's a good start. Senna always is a good start into a selective hearing comp because it's the key component. You need this champion in order for the comp to work. Same with Lucian. But yeah, this is going to be a fairly interesting set. And one thing to note is I've played a lot more ranked, like league, normal league. I've been playing that recently, and if you don't know, I support main, and currently I'm playing a lot of Senna, and Senna is so good support wise. Like, she does a lot of damage and is really hard to deal with most of the time, obviously. But anyway, let's get back to TFT set 2. Obviously the hexes is a core thing that was added. I mean, I love the new maps. Like, we're playing on the Freyord map right now. Obviously, it's a new map that stands out really nice. You've obviously got a little Poro on here who stood next to me actually right now, which is kind of cute. And you've also got probably the best little legends releasing this set. I mean, obviously, I like my true damage ones because they're so cool. You've also got the Hush Tales, which is one of my favourites. Melisma's one of my favourites. Yep, and all of them came in set 2, so it's kind of big to think set 2 has been so good for, like, cosmetic side of things. As for set 3, I know that they're adding, like, KO, like, animations or win animations and stuff, like, making it a lot more cooler so that it's interesting to play on. But hey, we have to get there in order to see it. And that's kind of interesting to me, I should say. I'll stick you on the board. You have some use. But, no, this is a fairly interesting set to me. Like, if we look at all the key, like, big traits, you've got Summoner, you've got Light, and you've got Shadow as, like, top 3 main things. You've got Glacial that's been reworked. What else is there? There's Preds. There's quite a few unique things. If you look at set 1 really wasn't explosive in terms of buffs. Like, probably the most explosive buff in set 1 would be Glacial, I think. Like, Glacial, because it was a stun instead of a stat boost. Like, Sorcerers was just a huge amount of AP. Knights was just a huge amount of armor. Noble or Nuble was health regen, life steal, and stuff like on that. It was probably the most broken early game thing ever. There's quite a lot of similarities, obviously, between buffs. Like, Knight is similar to Warden in this. Mystic is a weakened version of the combo of Knight and Guardian, sorry. And yeah, there was quite a few nice things in set 1, but set 2, they made it more, I guess, explosive, I would say, is the best way to describe it, obviously. Like, you add in Shadow, which is based on kills. That is huge. You have Light, based on deaths. You die, or a champion dies on your team, obviously that's a buff. And you've still got some classes like Glacial, which granted was changed to, obviously, it's a 25% chance throughout all 3 tiers of it. But obviously, you get more damage out of it instead, which is a kind of good trade-off, honestly. What else is it? Zerkers is kind of cool. Obviously, what happened to my game there? Zerkers is kind of cool. Obviously, you've got the cone attack. Obviously, that on-hit effect, really, really strong. Kind of cool. And very, very nice, obviously. There's a lot of good here. It's a lot more interesting. Woodlands is another cool thing. Predators is a cool thing. Steel's a cool thing. Like, you change it up so drastically, it makes games slightly less, what's the word? Noticeable on what it is. Like, if we look at set 3, it's completely revolutionizing the game mode. There's like 1 or 2, I think. There's a couple of returning things from set 1, like Sorcerers are back. I do believe Blade Masters has come back. Assassins are now Plunderers, or something like that. They've changed the name of them, which, to fit the Galaxy theme, is fair enough. But obviously it's a lot more interesting, to say the least, in that terms of events. So, we've discussed quite a lot of good in this mode right now. And I think we should probably... Why does the game keep tabbing me out? Thank you, game, for costing me my item. But, in a sense, we look at the bad here in this game. What I would say is, obviously, it's still quite bad, in my opinion, in terms of what you can do. Like, there's always a defined meta that is at the top that you should play in order to rank up, because nothing can beat it. Like, we throw back quite a few patches ago, Electric Warden, I grinded that like a mother trucker to get into gold. I then grinded Ocean Mages to get me higher, and Then you have the things like Blender, which just broke the mode, let's be honest. Blender was stupidly strong. People used to just play that. Granted, they nerfed it to shit by changing Spatula, which nerfed quite a lot of strats, honestly. It made it quite hard to play this game. Like, you weaken Animages, you weaken, obviously, Blender. You weaken quite a lot of powerful things. For what? You still have strong strats like Electric Warden, who can just build Wardens and have the Volibear, the Zed, and the Ornn just chilling there. You can't exactly do much because they buff the champions constantly, and you can build in champs like Olaf to get glacial stuns in there as well. It's still stupidly strong. Anyway, enough about ranting about that. Obviously, I do not like the Spatula change. What other changes or things that have been put in set 2 I don't like? I mean, first off, I don't like... See, it's obviously based off the main game, how they've made the rifts, the elemental rifts, and the changes to Elder. Obviously, how it now is an execute buff, so they have to translate an execute into TFT somehow. Oh, let's make it a very, very cheap buff in, say, Predators. That I don't like, because it makes low-cost units a viable strat to get you to late game and do well really late into the game. Whereas people who are struggling with 3s and 4s and 2s in their team, trying to get to late game to get, say, a 5-cost champion into their team, are struggling quite hard against these sorts of comps, and it's kind of annoying that people can just build such a cheap comp and be able to live that long. And I don't think I'm beating this camp. Yikes. This tells you how well I'm doing, doesn't it? And how well I'm paying attention. Anyway, we can make a quick change here. Do that. Push you over. I can do that. Pull you down. Yeah, we made a quick change there. But yeah, it's still quite bad, obviously, how the game works. And I don't know how they could fix it, other than starting new like they are. This round's a loss, by the way. Unless I can get onto the Azir, which is highly unlikely. Don't even kill the Ornn. Nice. Okay. We need some level ups in this team, honestly, before we're able to actually do anything. And obviously you can't tell I'm just saving eco. I can't be really bothered to try hard this game. So, set 3. Let's discuss set 3. As I'm recording this, the set 3 premiere thingy on Riot Games is happening right now. And I have a few opinions on it. I have a few things that I'm questioning. Obviously, the cost of certain things, certain units. Obviously, you've got that mega, like, combo robot thing, which is quite cool. That I'm confused how it's gonna work, obviously. Like, is it just you're only allowed them 3 units and no more, or such and such? What happens if they get, like, hurricaned if it's still in the game? Like, obviously, there's going to be changes in it that's going to be quite hard to understand for me, obviously, because I'm not paying attention to what's happening live right now. which I probably should do. But there's a lot that you can question about it in Set 3. Like, obviously, the carousel needed changing. I know they've done something to it, but the carousel does need a change. It needs to be a bit more fair on, say, people who are, are doing worse. Like, you can see right now, we're on a slump. We've saved up so much eco. Yes, that's one thing that we've been doing. But you think, how are people actually gonna win this when I'm on 61 health, the guy above me is on 74. A difference of 13 HP is quite a lot in TFT. And so if you're me, you get released at the same time as this guy. And the later on into the game it goes, it becomes more and more harder to obviously deal with that sort of effect. So what I'm implying is, what advantage do I get for struggling so late into the game? It's very little, I should say. Oh, that is actually my Lucian if I can get it. But you see, that guy had a better chance of getting a Lucian. If we have the same comp, I'm kind of fucked. And yeah, you're told to adapt and be better, but how can you adapt and change up your strat when you get outraced to that thing, and when you've got a pivot option that's somewhere over here, the next two people are released, you kind of can't get it. It's physically stupid in my opinion sometimes how this game works. But you know, it was still technically a beta a couple of weeks ago. And that is a thing that you have to realise. Is the game is new. It's been out less than probably 6 months. Maybe close to actually 6 months now, actually. Yeah, probably is close to 6 months. But obviously, it's still a game that's quite fresh. Like, one of the newest games in terms of in this genre that's out. And what more can you do, obviously? They're learning, and yeah, you kind of realise that the learning does take time, and it is important for them to obviously get better. And I've lost this round again. Nice. I need to really start searching and picking up level ups in my characters, because that's what's costing me. But I do also need to itemize as well. Alright, I just need some champions here, realistically. That's actually good. I'm gonna press this button a few times. I said a few. There we go. I'll stop pressing the button now. I've gotten quite a few champions upgraded. Just need to get Senna and Lucian now up to level 2, and then this comp's golden until whenever I die, essentially. Ooh, a weird summoners team, honestly, because you've got summoners, you've got a random Scandum Vlad. Yikes, I really need that GA up and running. Hopefully Wolfcamp drops me one. Like, the chain vest is all I need. What light champ? Yorick is one that I'm looking for. Wait, what light champion am I waiting for? Soraka, that's it. Okay, I can tell you now. I do need to obviously use my items a bit better But obviously it is a normal game. I'm not trying too hard. So, yeah. Oh, I got a level up on my Soraka and a Giant's Belt. Not terrible. Pull you back here. I think we do have to obviously change up our GA strat. There we go. Yep, Lucian's our GA. Hand of Justice. Wait, no. See, this is what you're good for. Is the Ionic Spark. This is actually quite interesting because Lucian's going to town here. Lucian is actually destroying this guy. Nice. So, good round there for us, obviously. We're actually starting to pick up a win. Yeah, I am technically still just looking to upgrade my Senna. Or even a little please? That'll do. Oh, I couldn't get him on. Ah well. Got it on, it would go in my front line, that would be huge. That's a nice ult straight onto that cog. Cog's actually down as well. And we actually win another round, nice. Okay, but let's think, we can technically rush 7 right now. I mean, that isn't a terrible idea. Rush 7. I can stick Aatrox on the board. I could have stuck Yorick, but I think a level 2 Aatrox is slightly better. My opinion. Now we'll just stick with what we've got for a bit, because it should be fine. I don't know. Anyway, selective hearing does work sometimes if you obviously get the good enough picks. Like, to be honest, we did get quite an early Lucian, to be honest. That's actually quite huge. That's also a very weirdly stunned Aatrox ult. I don't know if we win this. I think we do. Yeah, we win. Lucian's doing a lot of work now, which is nice. Probably because we actually used our items, though. That is a Yi. I'm sadly sat just too high. That being said, it did just get delivered straight to me, so I'm not turning that down. And I'm actually going to replace the frontline Jax for the Yi, because Yi is just so much better. I mean, him in the comp right now would give us Mystic and Blade Master. He's got a bit more use than the Jax. So what we'll do is obviously try and level up as quick as possible, so that we can stick Yorick or Jax back on the board. And if that doesn't work out, obviously we can switch Yi off the board for the Jax or the Yorick, whichever I decide to put on the board. I think you would be better with that. Purely because when you're ulting, you do sometimes get popped quite quickly. So this round should be interesting, because we do have Shadow online as well. And the Yi's going to town. Okay, This is our turnaround. Because Yi does a lot of damage. If you can't tell with an IE. Yeah. Oh, I didn't actually know if you hovered over it, it tells you the actual damage stat, but that is quite huge. I'm enjoying this, if you can't tell. Ooh. We'll build up our eco still. No point in wasting it. Obviously, we're on a win streak. We're sitting in 4th now as well. So this makes this even more funner. Because people have to deal with our bullshit. Only thing I could do with right now is a Lucian or a Senna. Getting one of them would make this team comp even more funnier. This guy's got a Senna. He's got Shadow Crystal. Bit weird, honestly. But the Yi's gone to town here and has absolutely decimated this guy before he went down. And obviously when he went down, the Redemption Pop healed up the Vayne and the Kindred, giving us a win there. Very, very good round there for us. Plus our eco is slowly building up to a safe spot, and now comes Raptors. This is the fun part for me, because it's free money. That's all this is. Granted, we even lost Crooks earlier in the game. That kind of screwed us quite heavily in terms of our team comp. But it's still pretty strong. Now, what we could do is obviously GA up Senna and put Lucian in the front line, which would be slightly better because he has got the Ionic Spark, which does benefit from being close to enemies. Oh, and Nico's help is helpful, to say the least. And I could technically cash out to 8 right now. Don't think I want to, though. What I do want to do is that as more damage. I could have done it on the Yi, which probably would have been smarter. In fact, that probably definitely would have been smarter. That being said, it's even more smarter for me to do this. Get that on the board. And now we're rolling with quite a lot of power. And I can just start saving Nico right now. Up to level 9 if anything. Because this should be the very, very strong part of the game for us. And yikes, that Vigar's just getting hit by a full blast of Lucian ult. And yeah, that's a pretty big win there. Lucian did the most damage, just edging out the Yi by about 9 damage. Which is obviously still good. Obviously we want to be doing as much damage as possible. So we're just going to sit here, build the eco back up, because we're on a 6 win streak. Next win gives us an extra coin, because we'll go to the 7 plus bracket, that plus 3. That'll give us about 9 eco next round, maybe 10. Depends on the bracket, obviously, of eco that we're on. And yeah, I'm not too fussed. Obviously we have a level 1 Senna on our comp and a level 1 Yi, but they do work. A lot of work. Oh, Yi did not get saved there, or any favour from that redemption ult there. And I think this is a loss. Well, there goes our eco. That guy was on built up a 4 win streak here, so yeah, that's fair enough that he wins that. I'm not gonna get you up. Not gonna get you up. I'm just thinking about this now. I want to keep the Oryx because obviously we want to get him on the board at level 9. And Kindred I could possibly get up to level 3. But do I want to save for it? I'm just going to keep it there actually. And this should be an interesting round, honestly. Wow, we're actually doing a lot of work here from Lucian's back end. Kindred did work there. If you didn't notice, he stopped quite a lot of healing there as we beat this guy. The Paddlemar dies. And yeah, top 5. Ooh, what is there for us here? Frozen Heart wouldn't be terrible. In fact, I'm going to take it and stick that onto probably Jax. I think Jax would actually benefit from that a lot. Or Aatrox. One of our frontliners. Maybe Yorick. It's probably a Yorick item, actually. Oh, it's definitely a Yorick item now. He's going immediately on the board. He replaces Jax because Jax, yeah, he is quite useful in terms of dodging out and being able to just sit and be a nuisance. But Yorick's the guy that will create more Hellbent light buffs. So that is why we're going to take Yorick. In fact, I'm going to do that as well, because it gives my Yi a bit more freedom as we come up against a Zed. Ooh. This should be a win. Yeah, this is a pretty good win, actually. Yeah, Soraka put her all directly on top of the summoners. Yeah, that's an easy win. Pff, yikes, your HP just dropped. Holy moly, and that's top 4 guaranteed as well. So the good thing for us is we'll be at 10 out of 66 next wave on our rush to level 9. We're currently sat on 42 eco. We'll probably be looking above 50 next wave. Which means, in theory, what we can do is cash out next wave, and then with the wave after's eco, we could hit level 9 and have Jax on the board for our max light buff. That's one thing I probably could have checked in the carousel was for a light buff, but I didn't. I chose to be ignorant. Oh well. This is quite close, actually. This is very close. It's a shame, though, that we're having to play Senna in the front line instead of Lucian. However, we get a static Shiv drop. That is actually quite useful. Who would it be most useful on? I would say Kindred or Vayne as the targets for that item, actually. I'm also going to give our Yi the Chain Vest for now, just because we can. And I just realised I don't even need to cash out now, because it is obviously a Drake Wave. That's a Nico's help. Bit of a weird drop there. Anyway, I'm going to cash out. We hit level 9. Ooh, Lucian drop. Wait, I don't want you. Nope. Nothing there. Okay. Stick this on you. This stage of game, that's more useful. I forgot to stick Jax on the board. Oh well, luckily we draw a fake. We can switch on Jax next wave. I have no clue what's happening. All I see is quite a lot of damage. And our Lucian's going to town. And Lucian lives. So, something big happened there. It's not a decent shop, to be honest. Nope. Nope. The game really wants us to take that Lucian and level him up, because that would have been a second level 2 Lucian if I did. Oh well. I'm not wasting the eco on it. I'd rather just search for a Yi or a Senna, or even a Vayne or a Kindred at this stage. Because if we get them, that is huge. And we draw the guy that we just beat in fake form. Now the thing is, for us hit. Oh, down goes IE. Huh. The Yoriks are going to town here. And I say the Yoriks, I mean the ghouls went to town here, and Yorick did so much damage. Holy moly. I can't take it, sadly. As much as I want to. It keeps offering me Lucians and Aatroxes now. Out of spite, realistically. I'm actually going to check the damage stat there. Yep. Mostly magic damage there. Obviously, that the magic damage on Yorick is the ghoul's damage, which is quite big. And we come up against... Oh, you, Infernal Mate. Infernal what? It's just a load of Infernal. Wardens are in there. I think we were the last guy to beat this guy, actually. Because he was on a win streak, and we've just smashed his win streak. And do we win? Yes, we do! We win this game with our selective hearing comp. Pretty good. Very, very good, I should say. But yeah, that was a very good game to end our set to, I guess, Tyranny, most people will call it. If you enjoyed this episode of TFT Time, and the last one of set 2, probably, depends if I make another or not, leave a like down below, subscribe if you're new around here or if you want to, and I will be seeing you guys later. Peace out.